Hi, my name is Brad Schlazek. I'm the energy specialist here at Sunvalley Solar Solutions. This video is just a quick tips of how to use your demand manager and certain things that you might need to do in order to maximize your savings as well as maximize your comfort using the demand manager. Your demand manager is a smart load controller that is able to monitor the amount of electricity you are pulling from SRP at any given time. The demand manager is only operating during those on-peak times where there is a demand charge associated with your bill. How your demand manager operates is because it's monitoring how much electricity you are consuming at any given time and is controlling the big loads in your house, such as your air conditioner and your water heater. If you start going over your allotted amount of electricity or your demand limit, then it is going to turn off the loads that is controlling, such as your water heater or your air conditioner, in order to protect that demand limit from exceeding what you have it set at. Okay, with SRP, as soon as your solar gets activated, you automatically get switched over to what they call the demand rate. There's three charges associated with that rate. You have your on-peak usage, off-peak usage, and the third is your demand charge. There are certain on and off peak times associated with this rate. Your on times that start November 1st, 5 to 9 in the morning and 5 to 9 at night, Monday through Friday. In the summer, that starts May 1st, it's 1 to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. What SRP is doing is they're taking a reading every half hour during those on peak times to see how much electricity you're consuming from them. The highest amount of electricity you have consumed from them during any of those half-hour segments for the entire billing cycle is what that third demand charge is based off of, okay? And we'll go into demand charge in just a little bit. There's 6 displays in what we call the user's loop. If you want to cycle through the displays, you use this blue dial. Each click will cycle to a different display. A couple displays I want you guys to be aware of. You have clock, instantaneous demand. That's currently what you're consuming from the grid in real time. Now, if your solar was activated or is activated, essentially this is production minus consumption. So right now solar is not activated. If it was, and the solar was producing more than 400 watts, this would just read 0 because you'd be producing more than what you're consuming. AD stands for average demand. SRP takes a reading every half hour during those on-peak times. In this current half-hour period, this is how much we have consumed over a 30-minute average. DL, this is the only thing you guys will ever have to change. It stands for demand limit. That's how much electricity you're allowing yourself to consume from the grid during any of these half-hour on-peak times. In order to maximize your savings with your demand manager, we recommend you do a couple things. Thing number one is to pre-cool your house. Set your thermostat as low as is comfortable for you to live in that environment. Reason being is because the demand manager directly relates to your ACs and is controlling your air conditioner. That's how we're preventing your demand to spike with the demand limit. DL correlates to two things. One, your demand charge, as well as the comfort level inside your home. If you pre-cooled your house down to a certain temperature and around these on-peak times in the summer from 1 to 8, you get uncomfortably warm in your house, you have two options. You can either pre-cool your house more by lowering your thermostat, or you can increase your demand limit. Increasing your demand limit allows you to pull more electricity from SRP during each of those half-hour on-peak periods, which will allow that AC to run a little longer. However, you will be paying a little more money in a demand charge in order to use that electricity during that time. The higher your demand limit, the smaller floating temperature that will occur. I keep my house at 70 degrees in the summer. By the time 8 o'clock hits the end of that on-peak period in the summer, the temperature in my house is 77 degrees. So I have a 7-degree float from 1 to 8. Now, if 70 degrees is too cold to keep your house, as it is for most people, and you can only go to 74, 75, you would need a higher demand limit in order to combat floating temperature. Floating temperature occurs when you've lost your solar production, meaning the sun has set. Because the demand manager is tied directly into your air conditioners and correlates to your demand limit, if you have a really low demand limit, that equals more savings. However, that's less electricity you're allowing yourself to consume during each of those half-hour on-peak periods. In order to pre-cool your house, what we want you to do is to go to your thermostat, set your thermostat as low as is comfortable for you, and set it to auto. We want you to get rid of all those programmings that are on your thermostat, such as on time, off time. We don't want any of that on your thermostat. The demand manager essentially now acts as your thermostat. When the AC has the ability to run, it will. When it can't, that's because the demand manager is saying, hey, we've already hit our demand limit for this half-hour cycle. Let's wait for the next half-hour cycle to turn on. Second thing we recommend is all other major appliances such as your laundry and your pool pump, try and do those off peak. Remember, Saturdays and Sundays are off peak, so if you're able to do your laundry on Saturdays and Sundays, by all means do your laundry then, and set your pool pump timer just to run during those off peak hours. In order to adjust your demand limit, you hold down this black button that says push to change setting and spin the blue dial accordingly, left or right. Right to increase, left to decrease your demand limit. Congratulations on your solar and demand manager installation. Hopefully this video was very helpful in explaining the demand manager to you. If you have any further questions or concerns, feel free to call this number right here on the sticker on the front of your demand manager. My name is Brad, and I hope you have a great day.